Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Fortnightly Frontier podcast, where I, Darjanator, and my good friend over there, Myre, talk about Star Citizen stuff. Sometimes even Squadron 42 stuff when they give us stuff to talk about, but not this time around. Anyway.
Sadly,
yes. Because maybe you know this, maybe you don't. I am actually more excited about Squadron 42 than I am about Star Citizen.
Why is that? What is there new with Squadron 42 that makes you excited for it?
I just prefer a good single-player narrative to multiplayer.
But what makes you think that the single-player narrative of Squadron is going to be something that you're interested in? Because there's a big difference between the story mode of Call of Duty and Half-Life, you know what I mean? And we don't really know which one we're getting.
This is true. Yeah, but in general, like all the games that I tend to play other than Star Citizen, let's just shelve that, are, the games I gravitate towards are the single-player narratives. Okay. So like you said, Half-Life 2, Portal, Ori, was the last few games that I played that were.
Did you like Titanfall 2?
I loved Titanfall 2.
Maybe we'll get a Titanfall 2.
And yeah, that'd be great. Just games like that. Really looking forward to Cyberpunk.
Yeah, who isn't? I can't wait to get myself my own customized groin in Cyberpunk.
But on the other hand, stuff like Fortnite and Valorant and, games like that, just absolutely no attraction from me at all. It's the repetitive nature of the gameplay that just, same thing over and over and over and over again. It's just, I get bored with it.
I would argue it's more nuanced than the same thing over and over. There are enough variables in those games that it's the same level, the same kind of people, but because people can... The variable makes it so that it's not the same, but I understand what you mean.
But that is not good enough for me.
You don't like it.
I need to have a feeling like I'm progressing through something other than gathering stuff.
Right. So you don't work out on a treadmill because you feel like you're not going anywhere, basically.
Yes, I'd rather go for a run, but then
I love analogies.
Yeah. But that would also mean that if I go out for a run, that I'd never come back home. Because that mean I just get back to square one.
That is fair. Oh man, when you put it that way, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, in terms of what we're getting, it's been an exciting week. Recently, or there was an exciting day when they gave us a sneak peek of the new roadmap. So this would be roadmap Mark III or something like that.
Mark III? What was the first roadmap?
The first roadmap was basically just like a image of all the stuff they're working on, and
that they never met. You mean like during Citizen Cons and stuff, where like Chris would go like...
No.
Okay.
Do you have a scene where we can show this, and I will maybe Google for it?
You mean a scene kind of like... I don't have one, sorry. Joking! Yeah, like this one? Like this one? I mean, this is what we have like...
This is what we're getting.
This is what we're getting, yeah.
I'm sending you this link so you can open it up and share it with everybody. But this is the original roadmap from, I don't know how long ago. Maybe we can check. Yeah, this is from like 2016, something like that.
Okay.
This is the original roadmap. It had, so you could see the, this is like for 2017. This is the roadmap for 2017.
Okay.
It's got core tech, FPS, gameplay, AI, UI, graphics, weapons, ships, environments, and network and back-end color-coded with basically just names and dates for when work is starting and when it's planned to stop.
Right. I don't remember any of this, but looking at this, I'm sad. to say the least. They were working on a player down state in 2017 and it disappeared.
Yeah, anyway, so yeah, that was the original roadmap. Down below you have like the most ambitious stuff with the ships in yellow.
Mm-hmm.
I think I even saw... did I see a Banu Merchantman somewhere there?
I see a Constellation Taurus for 2017. A Merchantman there as well, and the Carrack. That was... Yeah. Who made this, Chris? Like, it would have had to be.
Yeah, this was the original roadmap draft for the roadmap. But yeah, that was Mark 1 and never got updated, I think.
Yeah.
Well, then actually, I think it got a couple of updates.
Oh, dude, like...
But...
Yeah. I forgot about this. The Shroud of the Ancients crossbow. Like, because Shroud of the Ancients is another game. I have no idea where its state is right now. But Shroud of the Ancients was a game that was being kickstarted, and so they kind of like became chummy with Star Citizen. And so, like, if you bag Shroud of the Ancients, then you have a Vanduul spear in that game. And likewise, in Star Citizen, they were making a Shroud of the Ancients crossbow for the game to, like, you know, to symbolize like their like mutual friendship or something. So sometime down the line, we're getting a crossbow, but I completely forgot forgot about it.
I think the game's just disappeared. I don't think they're even working on it anymore. But anyway, yeah, a lot of old stuff. But you can see, like, we got a lot of stuff done.
We did.
Like most of the stuff that's there. It's like it's got object container streaming, asynchronous object container loading, and designer workflow improvements. All of this stuff is done.
Mm-hmm. Some of the other stuff you can see here, like server side OCS, which was supposed to be at the beginning of January of July, but only came out last year at the end of it. You know, like, we have it now. But it's just interesting that they were so ambitious with even certain things that we don't have. Like, at late October, we're supposed to have gadgets like drones and shields, but just last week, they had a Calling All Devs kind of like Star Citizen Live where they said that that's coming next year. So 2021.
Yeah. Planets really messed everything up. This was a roadmap for a game without planets.
That's right, yeah. This was a roadmap for a much smaller game, but scope was still expanding, like, astronomically, pun unintended. But yeah, hopefully things are now at a stage that we won't have to worry so much about this kind of like drift from what the intention was.
And the reason why I bring this up is because the new roadmap that's coming, Mark 3, alongside Mark 2. What we have right now is not going away. The cards that are slated to be released in a certain quarter. The cards for features that are slated to be released in a certain quarter. That's remaining. Yeah. But we're also, on top of that, we're getting the Mark III roadmap that looks very similar to that Mark 1 one with its horizontal progress bars for different features and stuff like that. Yeah.
It's similar while at the same time being unique.
Yeah, it's got I think I like it more because it's far less restrictive when it comes to dates. You know, it's just separated out into sprints because the Mark 1 had very specific dates on it. Like, for instance, if I go back, Shield Rework, it's slated from Tuesday, 18th July 17 to Friday, 4th August 17.
Yeah. But, like, I guess the good thing about this compared to what was actually just an Excel document is the fact that this is supposed to be interactive. So not only can you look at the cards and see what's coming in terms of sprints like we always could do in the past, but now they're going to be giving us this thing here where you can, like, boil it down to what exactly you personally are looking for. And it also tells you like what teams are working on what. So when people complain about a specific thing like that they're doing, you know, like normally what happens like when they complain on Reddit or on the Spectrum is that you know, people will say, you know, like,
wait, people complain on social media saying
only
so?
sometimes, only sometimes.
Okay.
But like, you know, when people do that, they call out and they say all this stuff. Normally it's like, you know, why are they working on this feature when they could be working on my Bounty Merchantman? Well, that's because, well, that team doesn't have anything to do with the Bounty Merchantman. But now there's actually a visible representation of the exact teams that are working on the exact thing, which is kind of cool.
And it's even you can also tell that each team has different
Disciplines.
disciplines. Yeah. But it also means that, you know, several people could be working on several things at the same time as well. Like, for instance, like you got animation workers in the player interaction experience. They could also, you know, the same person could also be working on something else.
Potentially.
Potentially, yeah. You know, something I'd like to see maybe coming up in the future as an upgraded feature of this is also a dependency tree.
That'd be nice. I mean, like, so what they said is that, so what we see here is the actor feature team. And then this team is what they call an upstream team. They work on stuff. Whereas you have people who then need other stuff like building blocks from, you know, like the UI team and stuff from the engine team to make, like, you know, the clouds and stuff. And then those are called downstream teams. And because they're downstream in terms of the, like, I guess their tech that they need, their sprints are much shorter forecasts. So we'll get them, but they only come up when they're doing stuff. And I think those are better represented in the cards as opposed to these longer quarterly things.
Yeah, remains to be seen. This is definitely not the final representation of the roadmap. Some tweaks will happen either for better or for worse, but it will be interesting to see how they mesh together.
Yeah.
The original, the current roadmap and this upcoming one.
Yeah. I mean, memes aside and roadmap for roadmap and all that stuff. I mean, like, at least this came 2 weeks after they said they were going to be talking about it or said they're going to be pitching it, and now we're already here. So, as far as I guess it looks in terms of optics and in terms of, you know, people like taking the piss that, oh, this is going to take as long as like other features and stuff. It doesn't seem to be the case, which is great. And I look forward to seeing where it, you know, like where it takes us.
Yeah, but I wonder if this is just a mock-up by somebody or if it's a screenshot of an already working prototype.
I would say it's very likely a mock-up, but at the same time, it's a promising mock-up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're used to seeing mock-ups all the time, you know, like we've seen it for the movie.
And they look very good. They have some very good to the artists.
Yeah. Yeah. Very realistic looking. But yeah.
You know, but it's just like the actual inclusion of proper text that already exists. I wonder if that's just a copy paste or if it's just because it's already a working prototype, so it, you know, plugs into the same API or backend.
Possibly. I mean, for the description of the actor feature team, I guess it's just one description. We don't know how many other teams are in there that have descriptions yet and all that stuff. But yeah, end of the day, I guess we can just take it as it looks like a preview. It's a preview.
But it will be very interesting to see everything that CIG is working on. In moderation, I'm guessing Squadron 42 will still remain a bit of a hush-hush
for the most part.
Situation for the most part, yeah.
But like in terms of like boilerplate tech and stuff, I think they'll now have a place there. I mean, with that whole like thing that they mentioned with the whole roadmap post, it's all about being, you know, more transparent with us and about putting everything there for us to see. We'll see if it's everything or not, or if it's, you know.
Well, you know, the technologies that are being worked on that are used for both Squadron 42 and and Star Citizen, those can easily be thrown in, but very specific stuff like actual assets, unless they've already been disclosed, like the Aceto Comrade, the big flower opening up thingy, and the Vandal UEE killing spear.
I don't think it's a spear. Well, it could be also a spear.
It is. It was already seen beforehand in the Squadron 42 trailer. There's one shot where a naked Vandal, so one of the higher tier warrior ones, jumps on a UE soldier that's lying on the ground and then just slams the spear into him.
There must be two
chest.
kinds though, because back in 2017 when all this stuff happened as well, they released them as Squadron 42 making all videos or something, and then they did say that there was a spear that was also
the heart of the kingship or something like that.
Basically the key for the ignition.
Basically, because also what it did is they went in.
Yeah,
and
then they twisted it. Yeah, it's a key.
It's basically a key for the ignition. Possibly it's one of those, but it's also possible that everything that the Vandal do and hold and throw is spear shaped.
Yeah, I imagine because all Vandal have their own ceremonial daggers. I would not be surprised if their daggers were also the keys for their scythes, ignitions, or something silly.
Ooh, yeah.
I love how I said, "Oh, something silly," and you're like, "Oh, hell yeah, give me that key."
But yeah, I love stabbing things to make them run. It's. I guess that's just the Vandal in me speaking. But
yeah.
Yes. There's a lot of things coming in the roadmap that, in previous iterations of the roadmap, they just got removed but they're not actually being removed permanently from the development cycle.
Yeah.
They're just being put on the back burner because other things have priority, or they have to be developed before, or it's easier to develop them with the technology that's already existing and stuff like that. But now we'll see everything that's been removed from those roadmaps, and even stuff that we had no idea about.
That's true.
It's like,
I look forward to that a lot.
Yeah, anything on your mind that we could?
Anything on my mind
that we could be seeing? Like,
Well, about specific things, I'm not so sure on. But you talked about Squadron 42 stuff and stuff they can't tell us about. I think that what this roadmap will help us be able to see, but again, we have to wait until it comes out to see if I'm right on this. But it means that even like features that will be Squadron specific, they can still be very like nebulous about it and say that they're working on Squadron ships, and it just says Squadron ships, or working on Squadron HUD, and it just says Squadron HUD, and then you can see that roadmap, but they won't tell exactly what it is. That's what I'm hoping to get from this.
Yeah, they could just replace stuff with more nebulous terms.
Exactly. Yeah. But as for actual tech that I think maybe will get unearthed, I don't know. Server meshing might have its own thing now. iCache might have its own thing now. Yeah.
Is there anything that you would be, something that we've talked about before that would be nice to have in game that you would be sad about if it doesn't come up in this all-encompassing roadmap?
I guess cargo gameplay changes or whatever, or at least I would love it if there were. I'd love to see, and this is fingers crossed, that the mission team have some sort of like long-term roadmap for like specific kinds of missions. The same way they've been promising bounty hunter missions or something. I would love to see a sprint line for that. I would love to see a sprint line for cargo stuff. But as for something that I would really be upset not seeing, Tony Z's economy.
Oh, that's definitely coming. It wouldn't have had an hour-long segment and the last.
You told me. You told me. Is there anything I'd be upset?
Oh, sure. Okay. But okay. I mean, that seems to me like something that he's been working on ever since he started on the game, and it's almost ready to be released. But maybe something that's not been as hyped or as revealed.
But as
for
a
me,
feature.
for me, for me, I'd say it's orbits, planetary orbits.
Planetary orbits. I also want, because we've seen work in progress things of it, explosive decompression. We've also seen work on the door system for security things. We've also seen tractor beams. We've also seen player monitors on ships and ship-wide maps. There are a lot of things. I remember. I got like an elephant there. Like I remember. And
how come you couldn't remember the Mark 1 of the roadmap then? Did Myre exit stop working, maybe?
We don't talk about that.
But yeah.
I said I remember. I didn't say I never forget.
For me, like there would also be like when we talked orbits, like planetary orbits, it would make things. It would give things variety.
Yeah.
It's like right now, because the planets don't orbit around the stars, it doesn't give the entire system you're in any sort of dynamicism. It basically feels like locations on a planet somewhere, because they don't change. They're always where they're supposed to be. But orbiting planets will, especially with smaller ships, they will make you reconsider like the steps you have to take if you want to take, go from one side of the planet to another, side of the system to the other, because you don't have enough fuel, so you'll have to make stops. But 6 months later, those two planets may be adjacent to one another, so it'll be just a short hop instead of a cross system jump.
And because economy is going to be dynamic as well, it means that different times of the year, the economy and the way things will look, the amount of things that will be available on those stations will also change over time.
Yes.
The question in chat from Danger Hobo is, how will orbits make anything better? I guess the short answer is that they won't. The long answer is, as Darj says, complexity will just make the world richer.
Yep. And the like you said, because shipping routes will change, it'll also make going from one planet to another more dangerous in terms of pirate ambushes, or like maybe even anomalies. That would be nice to see on the roadmap, like spatial anomalies, like
a lot of the game, because we don't have skill levels and stuff, a lot of Star Citizen in terms of professions is all going to be about personal experience and personal learning, from the flight path and from the flight mode all the way down to like things like mining and refinery and stuff like that. Somebody who is able to see where all the planets are in a given system and to like accurately chart when a specific planet's going to be when, because the speed is not going to change once they start, right? That information is invaluable. They'll know exactly when specific things are going to be more useful and when they're not. And we don't know yet, but it could be really useful at some point, depending on how fast these planets and stuff move, to have that information for like an op, or like to be a pirate and to stop somebody, or like do a whole bunch of different like things. It opens up, as Dar says, a lot of dynamicism to the game that can give us more missions and stuff in the future that are based on links to it. And
Yep. And I'm wondering also if the jump points will orbit, or if they're stuck in space. So, like, for instance, at the one time of the year, it's more advantageous. There will be no planets around, and if there is an incursion from another system, like backup, it's going to take longer to arrive and stuff like that than another time when you have these planets and stations and moons closer to the jump points.
Right. I kind of feel like even if they didn't move, and I feel like they won't, it won't matter so much because everything else is moving, so relatively they are.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
So thank you for what?
I actually thought that would be a lot more in-depth discussion that we could have around this roadmap, but considering we don't have any detailed information of what's coming, we could only stretch this conversation so far.
Yeah, there's nothing concrete at the moment. I mean, and as much as I love to speculate and stuff, without enough stuff, it's just complete theory crafting, and nobody likes that because
we used to do that a lot.
That's true. That's true. But there's only so much imagine people can take before they're like, come on.
Yeah. We'll, at least for Star Citizen, we'll be able to see. Or will we? The ships that they're developing.
Okay, what about the ships? Oh, right. In sprints. That is a good point. That is a great point.
Because a lot of ships right now, they've been going straight from announcement to flyable, pretty much. And if they decide that they're going to share all the information about all the ships, all of that surprise factor is going to be missing, and that's sort of that's marketing is really that's been getting them a lot of money right now.
That's true. I have no idea how it's going to work, honestly, simply because they've been kind of comfortable in the fact that they don't need to tell us when something is expected. And as far as the ships are concerned, they could have them in the roadmap, but I would not be surprised if they weren't, or if it was nebulous, and if they're working on ship, and like there'd be a thing for ship, so it's surprise.
Or at least small fighter, large cargo. At least give them some sort of descriptor.
Yeah, but it's a good point. I have no idea. I have no idea how it'll work. I kind of want to be cautiously optimistic about it because, like, I don't want to be disappointed not seeing a Banu Merchantman sprint next year. But we know that it's going to be every half year, right? It's gonna be in 12 sprints. This new roadmap.
If you bring up the image again, it's got quarterly, half year, and full year tabs at the bottom.
Okay. Right, so I'm just opening it up again. I didn't close it. I didn't, I promise. There it is.
If you scroll all the way to the bottom.
Bottom.
Yeah, so you got 1 quarter, 2 quarters, 1 year. And then you have previous quarters and next quarter. I wonder if then they'll be caching the roadmaps for the previous updates as well.
Probably.
That'd be interesting, yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know if it's 1 year as in a 1 year forecast, or if it's just like it'll add a whole bunch of stuff that was within a 1 year period with a 2 quarter lead time.
Like the current calendar year.
Yeah. But I guess I'll wait and see on that one. But yeah. Anyway, what else could we talk about? I mean, like, there is tons, but I guess we're just both trying not to theory craft to some degree.
Speaking of ships, the latest ship that was announced and that was teased quite a while ago.
Oh yeah.
In a sneak peek, and we talked about it, and we couldn't figure out which ship it was that had the iridescent paint job. But now we do.
It's funny because we knew from the very beginning that it was going to be Asperia, but then I was like, no, but it's not going to be Teverin because it's too colorful. Because of course the Prowler is black, right? Why is a light fighter parrot colored? I don't understand, but yeah, it is what it is.
I mean, you've got ravens and you've got hummingbirds.
Hummingbirds. Oh my god, he went Eldritch again. Fixed.
And I'm back. All right.
I mean, it's a good point, but at the same time, I don't know. With only one ship, you don't have enough of a style guide to then understand what's going to happen next, from our perspective. You know, like as far as the devs are concerned, they're given like a palette of colors from the concept artists and stuff. You know, who you know, and people from Ideation who go in to talk about all this stuff. But for us, I was like, okay, Tevrin are only going to make like jet black things.
But look at Misk.
Misk is pretty solid on their line of stuff.
On the shape language, but not on the colors. They got chrome, they got yellow, they got green, they got blue, white, black.
The variants are colored, yeah, but like a Misk Freelancer base is the same color as a Starfarer pretty much, but it's less chromy. For the yeah.
But then you have the Gemini, which is missing. Oh, that's an Aegis ship. But you have the Reliants that are very colorful. You got the Razors that are super colorful.
The Razor's a racing ship, so it has racing livery. The Reliants are a corporation with the Xi'an, so like it's different as well. Yeah. I can argue back.
Yeah. The Freelancer Max is in orange, and the Freelancer Miss is in green.
They're variants. Variants are colored, but the baseline they're very similar. But like I don't know. I guess there aren't enough ships for me to like I don't know. I saw like the Cartuals, bright red.
All right, find the origin ships where you could get them red and blue and green and yellow and purple. Purple? Is it purple? I don't know. Black. You know, the 300 series was very customizable, and the 600i you got the white version, and you got the black with the bronze, and it's like
base variants though are all white apart from the M50 and the. The NE5X, which is M50 colored. Fight me.
Fine.
But I'll tell you what we could talk about actually. We do have, of all the teams, the actor feature team right in front of us.
Yeah, all right.
We can talk about the features they're working on.
Let me full screen you so I can actually read.
So we have two very long things that they're working on because again, those two things, those are downstream tech. Upstream tech. From that, other teams will work on that to make other features. So like FPS radar and scanning. I imagine that just means, so that's just for first person like shooting, right? So we don't really have an FPS radar. It's currently broken in game. You can kind of see it if you kind of like look to the bottom of your screen. It's there, but it hasn't worked for a long time.
Yeah, that's still a remnant of the original one that was released with the first Star Marine, where it was used. I wouldn't call it useful.
Yeah. I mean, it was, but it's basically screen cheating, basically. I mean, it'd be better to have that for the current bounty hunting than what we currently do. In fact, it'd be awesome to have a bounty hunting, but...
It'd be awesome to have that when you're searching for dead crew members on one of those shipwrecks in space or on a planet. Yeah.
So, yeah, this is a feature that's coming. Obviously, this is down that line, you can see it's a Squadron 42 and a Star Citizen feature.
All of them are.
Yeah.
At least
so
the ones that we see right now.
With Squadron 42, like apparently so close to completion, I mean, like within a year, right? It's interesting that like tech like this still has up until the end of the year to be seen, you know, like Q4 that they're working on, you know what I mean? Like not to be negative, but I don't know. Whenever I see things like this and it's like, yeah, we're actively working on X thing that you normally expect in a video game, like as its core feature that's this late, it always makes you feel like it's so much further in the future than it's, you know, than it may possibly be.
Like the end of development, you mean? That is going to take that much longer. Yeah, I guess, yeah. But that is Q4 2020, and at least that's all. At least all of the stuff that they're working on is going to be done by then. So that's going to be by the end of the year.
Yeah, because like FPS scanning is such a key feature you would imagine because there's so much EVA. At least that's what we've seen in the vertical slice. They go outside, and he goes to that broken down like Avenger, and Chris even says that they're working on this specific thing, an FPS radar, to be able to see stuff and to guide you towards things.
And in the Squadron 42 visual teaser that they link to in every damn newsletter, there's also a bit of a EVA segment with push-pull.
Yeah. I suppose even with a single-player game, you can still structure the rest of a mission around a feature that's not yet out. And that's what they did with the vertical slice. So at least that makes me a little bit less, like anxious.
And also, you're playing, you are interacting with the universe from a very narrow perspective when you are an enlisted person. For Star Citizen, there's going to be a lot more broad. That's why they need all the features. But for the military,
a feature that would be very interesting to see on the roadmap once this is out.
Saddleball.
Yeah. Oh god, that's such a meme at this point. God
it is. But EVA push pull, we have that 0G push pull. It's
That's right
there. I'm pointing at it.
Yeah.
Force reactions, probably gonna need it. Throw
for the ball.
For the ball. Yeah.
It's a ball sport.
Radar scanning, so you get like sort of indication where the ball is.
Yeah.
Cooperative locomotion.
What do you think that means?
I'm guessing it's not two locomotives pulling a train at the same time.
At least I don't think so.
Yeah.
Space trains are confirmed. There's a Van Duel concept art of a massive long-ass train thing, but I don't think that's it. Who knows? Is that talking about multi-crew? Is that talking about grabbing somebody and moving with them or carrying them? Who knows?
Yeah. That's possibly it. Like, if somebody's injured but they're not out, you could probably throw them over your shoulder and help them walk along.
That sounds like it. I mean, it could be ship-wise, but I don't think so, because I don't think ships are classified as actors. So anything on this list here has to do with the player and down at the player level. So I think you're right.
FPS and EVA, yeah.
Yeah.
Then external inventory that I'm guessing is crates and lockers.
And items like weapons, and we still can't carry magazines on their own.
Yeah. Trade like everything that you have on your. I'm guessing this is just not a placeholder,
Did you cut
but
out? Are you dead?
An item you can interact with.
No, I died.
I died. Oh,
I
no.
died.
Oh, you died.
Yeah, I looked at you. I was like, "Is he dead?" I looked down at my bit rate. I was like, "I see dead people."
Sunday internet isn't lovely. Yeah.
Okay.
But as I was saying, what was I saying about? Oh yeah, external inventory. I think it's basically just a type of interactable that you can move your inventory items from your personal inventory.
Mm-hmm.
You offload it and then leave it at a location instead of taking it with you.
Right.
Using that, grid inventory system that they showed off.
There is one feature that I would love, and I've complained about it enough, but maybe not enough that you know exactly what it is. Like, it's a player inventory thing, but can you guess what it is?
Oh, no.
Okay. Scenario. You and I are both at a bunker. I need a crypto key. Hey, Darj, I need a crypto key. How do you give me the crypto key?
I have to put it down on a table or something like that.
Isn't that stupid? Why not just have you have inspect, you have all this thing. Why not just have a give one? So you just have it, you hold out your hand.
You wouldn't have to. Somebody grabs it, and if you hold F, and another person comes up to you, holds F, and it starts to interact with you.
Yeah.
One of them is takedown, but the other one, if you focus on whatever they're carrying, it could be grab.
I think it'd have to be a voluntary thing. Otherwise, you're just stealing stuff from people annoyingly, you know?
Oh, yeah, right. You'd have to, then both of you holding it and just like.
Yeah. So I would rather like you're holding the crypto key. You look down at the crypto key, press F in the option list. Offer. Yeah. Then you go, and then the guy opposite you then just grabs like they would normally. Because it's really dumb. Like, hey, you got a sandwich for me? Yeah, sure. Puts it on the floor.
Hey, don't knock floor sandwiches. They're delicious. And have you heard the crunch they have? Yeah.
But those 5 seconds on the floor make all the difference.
Yeah. What's that game where they had that system, but for whatever reason, whatever you offered was on a tray? Was it PUBG? On a silver tray.
Oh, it wasn't PUBG. On a silver tray? I have no idea. No idea.
But yeah, they had that sort of system where you gave another person something, and you're basically then holding a silver tray with the item on it.
I have no idea, but that sounds really funny. But yeah, that's what I want. It's part of external inventory, I imagine, but yeah. Or it's part of the player interaction experience. But then that's what
you could throw it, and then we have throw tier 1, but we don't have catch tier 1.
That's true. So I guess basketball's out of the question still. Then I mean, you can play horse, but you can't really.
Yep. We're definitely playing horse as soon as we get throw tier.
Oh hell yeah! We'll have a horse championship.
Right.
I'll win it with a pistol.
What item do you want to play this with?
A basketball.
We don't have a basketball. Oh my god, I'm Eldritch again.
Your patron is calling for you, Darj. But
behave.
I imagine they'd give us one. Maybe they'd just be like an interactable inside the bay of the 890 jump, but you have to buy it from somewhere, like Pico.
There's a couple of balls at the commons.
Mm-hmm. Those are like yoga balls, though. I mean, I'd rather just throw Pico. Pico is basketball sized.
It is. He is. He also rolls very ball-like.
Yeah, Pico. Pico will be the first of basketball. I mean, he is the extreme sports penguin, after all.
That is true. Yeah. Before we had the extreme sports turtle, which you could get at your soup vendor. That's always fucking hilarious for me.
Yeah. And he's the extreme sports penguin, and dwarf tossing is an extreme sport. There are people who do that for a living. Like they go to offices and stuff and like get thrown. Like it's a thing.
Wait, what?
Yeah, dwarf tossing. Like it's not just a joke from Wolf of Wall Street. It's an actual thing.
Or Lord of the Rings. Because Aragorn tossed Gimli at the Battle of something.
There's a celebrity called Beetlejuice, and he does that for a living as well. Like
I look like I had ice cream all over me.
I saw that. That was weird.
Okay, as high quality as this camera solution looks, still has a couple of quirks.
As he says that, he gets freaking Goofy's nose. Your mustache blended up your nose just like Goofy.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Right, we'll just use Discord next time.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I guess external inventory we kind of covered, but again, I think they haven't done things like you can't hold individual magazines or place them on the ground, so you can't give them to people. There's no storage for that either. But this next one is interesting because again, this is a good way of them like giving you a nebulous term and then like putting a whole bunch of different like disciplines in them, so you can see them actively working on something without necessarily knowing exactly what it is they're doing. So you can see there, animation and UI and engineering are all split up because it's been opened up so you can see exactly what they're doing.
And what does the description say? The player interaction experience is a holistic array of complementary features and systems, all related directly to the player. Player status, item status, environment status, as well as interactions with both the game world and the objects within it are covered under these systems. Like, that is nebulous AF.
Yep.
Oh, Hello.
Oh yeah, the chat thing. I was like, oh yeah, layers. How do they work? Thanks, Shrek. But yeah, and you went bald for a second. That was weird.
Yeah. I'm guessing we're experiencing a bit of packet loss with this peer-to-peer webcam thing.
I mean,
that
it
I
looks
guess
cool, but yeah.
It's more susceptible to packet loss than a Discord video call, I guess.
I guess there's more buffering with the Discord stuff to make it like more reliable.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, that's that for the player interaction experience. Who knows what it means?
Yeah, exactly. What is it?
I see words. This is it's like a production
like,
stew.
Like I know some of these words.
Yeah. But I guess we can move on. To we've already covered. Yeah, throw.
Throw was actually covered on the last Inside Star Citizen, and that's going to be cool because you get this nice throw indicator, which may seem gamey to some people and out of place in a immersive game like Star Citizen, but you have to also take into consideration that your webcam can turn eldritch for some reason. Damn, hold on, let me do boop. Let's hope it works. But anyway, yeah, you have to take into consideration that you don't have any sort of feel for the size of the object and the mass of it and the possible aerodynamics, because, like, if I wanted to throw this useless controller, Steam controller, that I have absolutely no idea how to work.
Neither does Steam, so they don't sell it anymore.
I know exactly how this is gonna fly. But in Star Citizen, when you can't actually hold something and weigh it in your hand, feel where the center of gravity is, all of those things, especially where the gravity is a variable.
Yeah.
That sort of thing, I think, will be beneficial.
I think they're taking that into account. Looking at the video that they showed in ISC, like they held a whole bunch of things from a whole bunch of like sizes and weights, and they dynamically held it in one hand, and if it was a ball, it was in two hands, and that kind of thing. I think we're gonna see a rather robust thing, but the thing that's most important to me is like network lag, and actually seeing it being thrown. There's no point like, okay, now it's supposed to, be thrown correctly when like they still do the animation and it comes like 2 seconds later and lands in the wrong place. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. That is unfortunately, network lag is a downfall of many a feature, and many a gameplay feature in Star Citizen, unfortunately.
Yeah. And then
anything where more you have interactions between more than one person.
Yeah, and then there's 0G push and pull, which they haven't worked on just yet, according to this image, which we don't even know if it's real or not. But we've seen images of before, like,
and videos,
and videos of, yeah.
It kind of works. But the only thing we've seen really is
like a half a second teaser.
They have half a second teaser with the player grabbing onto a railing when they got to it to stop, to arrest their motion.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to it. I mean, like as for what it brings to the game or what it brings to gameplay, apart from immersiveness. What do you think is useful for it? I mean, like in Star Citizen, forget Squadron 42, where it could be a stealth mechanic and that kind of thing. In a game like SC, where like currently, well, once something is in motion, you can't even EVA around it. What do you think the use is?
I think it will be useful for conservation of EVA fuel.
Okay. Oh yeah, because that's a survival mechanic that they said is coming in. All right.
So for your general motion, especially when you're moving around a ship or a space station or a derelict or something like that, it would be more beneficial for you to use push and pull, and only use EVA fuel when you absolutely need to, because that is going to be a finite resource, just like suit oxygen already is.
Yeah, but as resources, like go in Star Citizen from like food and drink to oxygen. How long do you think a tank of EVA fuel will last you? Going in a straight line, in how many seconds, minutes, hours, even?
Again, something that with EVA, with suit oxygen already, that should have been in by now, but isn't, should be dependent on the undersuit.
Okay, I would agree. But like for like your Odyssey Mark II, how long do you think would be a good amount of time to be able to like jet from A to B before you need to start worrying about floating into space for eternity? As a player, I'm not saying what do you think. What would you like, not what you think.
I don't know, maybe like 10 minutes.
10 minutes? That almost seems like not enough time, honestly. Like imagine doing the imagine doing that private eye mission in Gunda Kovalex, and you only have 10 minutes. I mean, that again, you'd be relying on 0G push and pull to prevent you from wasting that.
One thing they also need to change, which I hope they do, and the community has been asking for a while, is to turn EVA into decoupled only.
That'd be nice. Like just to remove the speed limiters and all that stuff from it. And I
think they should still have sort of speed limiter, but acceleration should be slower.
Okay.
Than it is. And it should not. You shouldn't have to keep holding forward to keep moving forward.
I agree.
You push. Just like in decoupled, you push forward and then you maintain your velocity.
Right. No, I agree.
And that would also make it where fuel would last longer, because you get yourself moving, and then you're not wasting fuel until you have to stop moving again.
Yeah, and that would also that will help you conserve the fuel. I agree with that, but I disagree with the whole locking and unlock. I mean, the whole keeping EVA's top speed locked. Because otherwise, how would conservation of momentum work if you're, let's say, at SCM on a Caterpillar and you want to go and repair something at speed? You'd slow down annoyingly again, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I guess. Also, oh god, where was I going with this? Giving objects and people a speed limit was a argument that was brought up before, when the engine wasn't as robust when it came to speeds. Like before, when the maximum that we could safely go before the engine started falling apart was about 250 meters per second.
Right. Yeah.
Ages ago.
Yeah.
But yeah. Sure, it would take a while to get there. Maybe you wouldn't even have enough fuel to get to 200 meters per second with all the fuel that you have on board.
I guess we'll have to wait and see. End of the day, I like the idea of having like different gear have different like air tanks, and I think that already internally is something that they're talking about, because that was kind of the progression, the gameplay loop for prison gameplay, that you would use merits to get a suit that had like better capability and more capacity.
Yeah, I think that one actually already has a lot less oxygen than the ones you get in the free world.
Okay, the free world. Yeah.
Another thing they have to keep in mind is that the thrusters have a static output. And the more you weigh, the less they should be able to accelerate you.
That's true.
If you're just in an undersuit and a helmet, you should be able to be a lot more nimble than whether you're wearing heavy armor with all the guns in the world.
Yeah. Once upon a time, when we were a much smaller, I guess, content creator community, I was on Star Citizen Happy Hour with Sean Tracy and Jared. And I gotta ask Sean about all these things. And he did say that with the heavy armor, he wanted to have those kind of concessions with, like in play. So like when you're in heavy armor, then, in fact, I think he wanted the opposite. I think he was like, well, if you're in heavier armor, then you have the ability in some cases to have, beefier, EVA, ports and stuff.
Yeah, but but in that case, you get
Inertia.
even less. Yeah, you get even less usage out of your fuel tank.
That's true.
So there would still have to be a trade-off somewhere.
That's true. Yeah, but I guess I am looking. That's one of the main things I'm looking for personally right now in this game and the development of the game. Of course, multi-crew is a huge thing for me, but also seeing more diversity from gear and to have it where gear matters. Because right now, gear, it matters, but there's a meta. And it's heavy head, heavy chest, light legs, light arms, or whatever. It's dumb. But
one thing they didn't address, I put a question for the latest Star Citizen Live, where they talked about a bunch of these first-person things, is the notion of destroyed limbs.
Oh yeah.
Like okay, you're wearing light armor on your arms and legs, but those are not going to offer you as much protection as heavy armor. And what happens when your arm is just completely destroyed? You won't be able to fire back. Or if your legs are completely destroyed, you won't be able to walk or stand anymore.
Stand everywhere, bro. It's easy.
And that's where cooperative locomotion comes in.
Hell yeah. Like wheelbarrow. Like somebody grabs your broken legs and you use your hands and... Yeah, come on, CIG. But yeah, the last feature that the active feature team are working on, apparently, according to this work in progress list, is force reactions. What do you think that means?
I think that is. I think that was touched upon, and it's basically G-force reactions for people in a ship that aren't the pilot.
Right. I believe I read in either the Squadron 42 or the Star Citizen monthly reports that they were also going one further, and they were going to add animations for when you're not safely harnessed and walking around freely in the ship, and the ship takes damage, for you to Star Trek style go, like as you're standing about. If you've ever seen us play Barotrauma, or you've played Barotrauma with me before, yeah, I want that. Like something is coming towards us, like a missile, and then like the captain's like, brace, brace, brace! And then like, if you don't like sit down or like you don't like grab something with 0G push and pull, you get launched across the hall and go splat on the wall, and then you need a medic to fix your broken legs. Yeah, please. CIG. Otherwise, just play more Barotrauma.
Yeah, but that looks like there's so much more work to be done.
I mean, yeah. It's a long eldritch sprint.
It is. Hello, I'm back. For people who are listening to this podcast, we've been having a bit of an issue with my webcam derping out and showing not compression artifacts, but basically packet loss. You know how it works. When everything just goes glitchy for a
Visions
couple of
seconds. Visions of the void.
Nice timing.
Hi.
I don't know what you saw, but I saw just frozen stuff.
Your mouth was open for a long time. I was like...
All right, do you think that's the universe trying to tell us that it's about time to wrap this thing up?
It is that time again. We've managed to make a 1 hour long podcast.
Woo!
All right.
Or Wii U, as some people would say. How about you take us home, or whatever the phrase is?
All right, so ladies and gentlemen watching and listening around the world, thank you so much for watching and listening around the world. This has been the Fortnightly Frontier.
Around the world.
That's right, coming to you live on Twitch TV and also wherever great podcasts are hosted. I have been Myre, and over there has been Mr. Darjanator. And thank you for watching once again, just to be safe, and we'll see you next time around the verse.